Over the course of a political campaign, voters are hearing candidates make one-sided arguments. They explain why they would be better than their opponent. And at a certain period of time, voters get tired of that going back and forth, and they want to see the candidates side by side. They want to be able to compare the candidates, how they handle things, what their views are on issues. And generally speaking, voters like debates. Voters think candidates should debate.
Do voters wait to see a debate before casting their ballot?
I think oftentimes they do, particularly at the presidential level. We've studied, public opinion and political debates over the years, and voters take debates more seriously when it involves presidential candidates than, say, down ballot races. But they do expect candidates to debate. They would like candidates to debate more than once. They don't have to debate 50 times, but they do want to see them more than once. And and candidates who don't debate usually are taking a big risk.
Here in Arizona, we have a hotly contested race, and one of the candidates in the U.S. Senate is having trouble finding the right time or place, I guess, to decide on a debate. Does he, and I'm talking about Mark Kelly, run the risk of alienating some of his voting base if they don't hear what he has to say?
Yeah, that is true. A candidate who looks like they don't want to debate can run the risk of losing some of their support and giving their opponent an opportunity to attack. Now, uh, running the risk of doing that, sometimes candidates want to have input in a debate format, and it can be made to look like they don't want to debate. But ultimately, I think voters will judge whether it looks like a candidate wants to do it or not. And if it looks like a candidate doesn't, then they have to take the risk.
What if a candidate is overly enthusiastic and wants to challenge the opponent to more than 5 debates? What does that say?
Well, it usually says that if you want to debate a lot, it usually says you're running behind and you're looking for ways to break in, to take votes off of your opponent. You're looking for exposure, and you're looking to change the dynamics of the campaign because debates have the potential of changing dynamics. So if you're losing and you're running behind, you want to change the dynamics. If you're ahead, you don't want to change the dynamics. It's very hard to win a debate. Usually a debate is a draw. Most debates we watch, they're both roughly about the same. And nobody really wins anything much or loses anything much out of it. But to win a debate is very difficult. And so when candidates go ahead and debate, they know that they have a greater chance to lose it than to win it, which can be a scary thing for candidates.
Good morning, everyone. So, if Joe Biden asked you what I thought about it, I don't think that he should dignify that conversation with Donald Trump.
We recently heard Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi say that Joe Biden shouldn't debate Donald Trump. Are they going to lose their luster? Are debates going to lose their luster?
I don't think so. I think these presidential debates will attract very big audiences. I think people want to see them. I think people who like and dislike both of the candidates will want to see them. And no, I don't think presidential debates are losing their luster. In fact, if anything, I think more and more people are watching them.
What's the value of the moderator in a debate?
Well, a moderator can play a big role, particularly if you have multiple candidates. It's hard to manage, 7, 8, 10 people, as we've seen in some of these primary debates. So a moderator really has to be able to control the debate. If it's in the case of two candidates like Biden and Trump, the moderator's role is different. It's less dealing with a group of candidates who may cause problems, but then it's about really dealing with the two candidates and to do it in a way where you're not being biased. Voters in the audience can clearly see bias, and if one candidate is claiming they are getting cheated out of time or didn't give an opportunity to respond, and the moderator uh, rules with that candidate versus another candidate, depending upon how they do it, they could look biased.
You're an expert on this. What is your insider tip to the viewer who will be sitting at home watching debates? What do you think they should gain from all these?
Well, I think first of all, they need to go into a debate with an open mind, and they should listen to both candidates, and they should listen carefully and not just look at uh, the physical characteristics. Focus more, I think, on what's being said as opposed to some of the appearance things that a lot of people tend to get distracted.
All right, we have some exciting months ahead, wouldn't you say?
We sure do. We have some incredible U.S. Senate campaigns in some places in the country. There's some gubernatorial race, and of course, the presidential race is sucking up a lot of the energy from politics today. So those debates will be, I think, very well watched.
All right. Ron Faucheux, thank you so much for your time.